Yar, and welcome back to another Indever log, everyone. I'm excited to once again share a week's worth of progress on my game with the long name, Precision Pajama Pirates. Last week I shared a playable version of the game with my subscribers. It was earlier than I intended, but I was keen to get some feedback. If you want to check that out, there's a link in the description of that video from last week. Thanks to those of you who had a go and commented with your notes. I'm stoked you're enjoying it and see its potential. The fact that you're playing it really motivates me to keep working and add improvements, so thank you.
You're welcome.
Quickly, before I get into the update, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. And don't forget to also hit the bell icon after you subscribe, because that's going to turn on notifications so you won't miss my future videos. Alright, let's get into it. Monday was actually the only day that I actually worked on something from my roadmap. Last week I laid out a list of must-haves for the game, and on that list was a spawn manager to manage the wave system in the game. So I kicked off with that. I've attached this spawn manager script to an empty object, which I've made a child object to the player, because I want new enemies and objects to spawn relative to the player's position. Because I've made this so that you can run infinitely in both directions, I have to spawn the objects relative to the player, or they might just spawn miles away and we'll never see them. So this is the spawn manager script. It's a fairly simple script, so the main function of this script is to spawn an enemy wave. When I call this function, it's going through a for loop. In this for loop, we are going to instantiate a pirate for every iteration of the loop. And we are going to keep going over this loop until we reach this wave count. The wave count at the beginning here in the start function is set to 1. So in wave 1, we're spawning just one pirate. When all the pirates are destroyed, we spawn a new wave. I'm checking that here over an update. I'm counting the amount of pirates in the scene. We've got a game object array, and that array is made up of all the objects with the pirate tag. And every frame we are counting the length of that array, which gives us the number of pirates for our pirate count variable. So if that pirate count is less than or equal to 0, that means we have no pirates in the scene. So if we kill all the pirates, then this if statement is going to be true, and we are going to add 1 to the wave count, and we are going to spawn a new wave. And this here is just updating the UI display for the wave. So because we've added 1 to the wave count, and we've called spawn enemy wave again, when we go back to this function, this wave count is now 2. So this loop will go through twice, and we're going to have 2 enemies spawn. And when we destroy them again, we're going to add another to the wave count, and we'll have 3 enemies spawn, and so on. Essentially, the game will go on until your computer explodes because it has too many little pirates in it. Okay, we are spawning the pirates at random locations relative to the player. So that's calculated here with this pirate spawn position function. In this function, we are generating a random X position based on a range of 5, and we are adding that to the transform position of the player. This means that we are generating a position that is somewhere 5 units on either side of the player. Also, if we go back to the spawn enemy wave function, we're also spawning a rum bottle, or pirate juice. No! I feel a bit bad feeding a child character rum, so we're going to call it pirate juice, because that makes it all fine.
Where's rum gone?
So, we're spawning 1 pirate juice every wave. This isn't within that for loop because I don't want 5 juices to spawn on wave 5. Use your juice wisely. The position being generated for the rum, pirate juice, is pretty much the same as the enemies, except there is a different Y value. And now that I am reading this, I'm realizing that the function is kind of unnecessary, and I should probably just change the Y value of the pirate spawn position. Oh well. Noob developer problems. On Tuesday, I had a bug where if the pirates were touching when they spawned randomly, they would fall very slowly, because I had them spawning in the air and falling down. But this became a non-issue because instead of having them physically fall into the scene, I decided to do it within the animation. So I got to animating the pirates swinging onto the ship. And now, because I'm not using a collision to change their is on ground boolean to true, I'm now setting this bool based on the end of the animation. I'd like to add a random delay to each spawn so they don't just spawn in all at once, but I haven't been able to figure that one out, so feel free to throw a tip down for me in the comments. On Wednesday, all I did was drawing, which was really fun. I began working on animating a second attack for the pirate. This is a rush style attack, which you'll have to watch out for, During playtests, I've discovered that an easy strategy for when you are surrounded is just to roll away from the pirates and get them all lined up in a line. That way you can take them out one by one. Not so fast. With this new rush attack, if a pirate is second in line but blocked by another pirate, he's going to start charging up this rush style attack, and this attack will ignore collisions with the blocking pirate and fly right past, right at you. So you're not going to be safe from the next guy in the line anymore.
And that was without even a single drop of rum.
I haven't scripted this attack yet, but it's top of my list for next week. So on Thursday, I was naughty. Why? Well, I spent the entire day working on a feature that wasn't on my roadmap at all. It wasn't even on my nice-to-haves list, and it definitely wasn't on my must-have list. But I must have it. What I was working on was a health pickup. That pirate juice I was talking about earlier. So I created animations for our player chugging down a bottle, and then a sloshing around animation for the pirate juice when it's just chilling on the ship deck. I also added a player hurt animation because now it's very likely that the player gets hit, seeing as he's drunk so much of the juice. We also have a pirate juice display down here in the UI, and I've updated the primary attack indicator too, so it's not just ugly text telling you that the attack is available. Instead, it's this little green fella. And each wave, a new bottle of pirate juice spawns in. Awesome. It's Friday now. My amazing wife has been having a really rough week with our daughter sleeping really poorly again for some reason. So I'm going to try and finish up early this week. So I won't be doing any more development today, just finishing up this devlog. It's been a fun week. I've enjoyed hearing from some of you about the game, so please keep in touch. Next week, well, I've decided to add just one item onto my development list for next week. And that item is the pirate secondary rush attack. I'll need to finish up the animations I started this week, bring it all into Unity, and then work on the code. I imagine it's going to take some fooling around to get it working the way I have in my head. Other than that, I've been getting so excited by this silly little pixel game that I've been kind of letting my learning take a back seat. So this week I'd love to devote some time to finishing up that Unity course I started about 2 months ago now. So that's it for now. Thanks for stopping by. Please hit that like button if you like this video, and if you haven't done so already, don't forget to subscribe. You can also hit me up on Twitter if you just want to have a chat. Otherwise, I'll see you back here in a week. Bye for now.
But why is the rum gone?